At first glance, the 2025 Ram 1500 looks like a light massage of the existing Ram pickup, but there are some pretty big changes underneath the skin. I can hardly believe I'm saying it, but the first thing to know about the Ram 1500 is that it doesn't have a Hemi under the hood anymore. And honestly, I am really shocked about that because I had sort of expected the 5.7-liter Hemi to either get another version or live on in some sort of fashion, but that is not what's happening. Under this Ram 1500's hood, we're going to find the all-new 3-liter inline-6 twin-turbo engine from the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer. You can bet that over time that engine is also going to make its way into the Grand Cherokee, the Grand Cherokee L, and of course the upcoming rear-wheel drive passenger cars from the Dodge brand. But let's dive into what we know under the hood. We know that there's going to be a base 3.6-liter V6 that's still hanging around. We know that there's going to be a plug-in hybrid Ram 1500, the Ram Charger. If you want to know more about that, that's in a separate video. I'm just going to briefly cover it in this one. And then of course there's the full electric Ram 1500 coming in 2024 as well. But the twin-turbo engines, that's really the big thing here under this hood. You'll be able to get up to 540 horsepower out of this engine. I am actually surprised it's taken this long to get that inline-6 under the hood, and this also explains why maybe Ram did not put the 6.4-liter Hemi under this hood, because this produces more power and more torque than that 6.4, and they've probably just been saving up in order to make this transition happen. Now, rather sadly, not every Ram 1500 is going to get 540 horsepower. The base model is going to stick with the existing 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 and an 8-speed automatic transmission. The next step up from there is a 420 horsepower tune of the twin-turbo engine, again borrowed out of the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer. That's going to give you 420 horsepower, 469 pound-feet of torque. So a pretty reasonable amount of power and torque, especially when you compare this to, say, a General Motors 5.3-liter V8 in their lineup. And the inline-6 engine is buttery smooth, so there is a smoothness advantage and kind of a coolness factor versus the twin-turbo V6s that we find from Ford. We also have a bit more displacement than we find in the base Ford engine. Then, of course, we get the high output tune, 540 horsepower, 521 pound-feet of torque, and that's going to give you a maximum towing capacity of 11,580 pounds and maximum payload of 2,300 pounds. Now, really interesting twist. If you want even more towing and even more payload capability, then you want the plug-in hybrid model, because that's actually going to give you 14,000 pounds towing and over 2,600 pounds of payload capability. In Q3 of 2024, there's also going to be a new Ram 1500 Rhino. They're calling it the RHO. That's going to join the lineup, kind of replacing the TRX. That's going to give you 540 horsepower and expect very similar kinds of Baja running performance to the TRX or the Raptor. But it's not going to be quite a corollary to the Raptor R. We don't know exactly what the plan is to compete with that model, whether there's going to be an even higher output version coming at some point in the future. We just don't know quite yet. In addition to the new inline-6 engines, we're also going to get a new interior. Now, this interior is not a surprise. We've already seen it before. This is the one that we're going to find in the full electric Ram 1500. They showed that at the last Chicago Auto Show, and at that point in time, I was like, bingo, that is the updated Ram 1500 interior. Sure enough, it is. Heads-up display, big LCD instrument cluster, enormous LCD infotainment system, passenger side LCD screen. Those are the highlights for the interior. Obviously, when we're talking about the very top-end trim. That top-end trim is going to be the tungsten, and it's going to give you also a ton of luxury features, upgraded leather, front seat massage. This is also going to have a hands-free automated driving system. Now, that part is new. We haven't seen Stellantis's, which is the parent company of Ram. We haven't seen their hands-free driving system, sort of Super Cruise, Blue Cruise-like, yet. It is currently sold in the Grand Cherokee L, however, so expect a review on that soon. That system is actually shipping as I am recording this video, so expect a video on that and expect it to be in the Ram 1500 at some point soon. We know there's going to be ebony wood, open pore wood, and other things. There's going to be an improved 12-inch touchscreen, an improved 14.5-inch touchscreen, depending on the version you're looking at, and then, of course, that 10.25-inch passenger screen. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of new going on here. We're still going to get the adaptive air suspension, and the rest of the spec sheet is full of things that have been upgraded. So we're going to get a 1.8 kilowatt hour inverter module on the vehicle. In the regular gasoline trucks, if you want to go up to 7 point something, you can get the plug-in hybrid or the electric one, but this is certainly going to make running power tools a bit handier. So you can definitely run those 15 amp power tools right from the vehicle. Now for the bad news. Ram has not said how much the truck will cost. I expect it to stick pretty close to the 2024 pricing, however, at least for the base version of the twin-turbo engine. It's probably going to be a similar bump as far as the engine upgrade versus the 5.7 that we see now. Where the high-output engine comes in, we just don't know. The other thing we don't know is how towing performance is really going to be going downhill. Smaller displacement engines, turbocharged engines, generally don't have a lot of engine braking going downhill, so if you do plan on towing a heavier trailer, you might still want to look at the 5-liter V8 in the F-150 or the 6-liter V8 in the Silverado and the Sierra lineup. The twin-turbo engines in Ford's lineup, they don't have a lot of engine braking. We'll have to see exactly how that lines up in the Ram lineup and whether Ram has upgraded the front and rear brakes accordingly because of the lower amount of engine braking potential that we're likely to get here. Bottom line, I'm glad to see that Ram is upping their game here because they've long had one of the nicest interiors and one of the best riding pickup trucks in America. This is going to take that to the next level with an even more refined and luxurious interior and now smoother and more powerful engines under the hood. The inline-6 engine has been fantastic in the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer. If, of course, you want even more towing capability or more payload capability, you can get the plug-in hybrid version. That's going to give you about 150 miles of range, nearly 700 miles of total range, 14,000 pounds of towing, over 2,600 pounds of payload. I am really, really intrigued to see what that model is like. And of course, if you want to go full electric, there is the full electric Ram that we've already covered previously on the channel, so be sure and stay tuned for that one. Obviously, the gasoline model is going to go on sale first, then the full electric model is going to go on sale, and then in 2025, the plug-in hybrid or range-extending model is going to go on sale. Let me know what you think about that down there in the comment section below, and what do you wish Ram would change on this generation of truck? Like me, do you really wish maybe they still offered a V8 at least in one trim? Kind of wish they had given us a next generation 5.7-liter Hemi. Even if they had to reduce the displacement and maybe give us a 5-liter Hemi, I would have loved to have seen a V8 still in this lineup just for that kind of person that really wants to do those heavier loads, towing downhill, wants engine braking, or just wants that particular sound of V8. The V8 in a half-ton truck is probably not long for the world. There are lots of rumors that we may not see V8s in the next generation F-150, and of course General Motors might kill off their V8s in their lineup at some point in the future as well. Let me know what you think about that down there also. See you later.